Newcastle United win back-to-back pre-season friendlies at St James's Park and will kick off the new Premier League season this Saturday against Nottingham Forest. Dan Ashworth and Eddie Howe are working extremely hard to try and bring in a new player before the start of the season. And with the links to James Maddison and the fees getting higher and higher, could we potentially see Dubravka going the other way? Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Toon Tuesdays, your weekly roundup of Newcastle United news, and I am starting this video off with a little announcement. You can now become a member of the Roobenstein YouTube channel. The support over the last few months has just been incredible. The number of likes, new subscribers, just the fact that you're watching this video right now really helps me and the channel. But I have had a couple of messages asking, is it possible or how can I support the channel even further? So I have now set up a membership option. There is a join button down below that you can click. There is a couple of different tiers. You can pick your own little icon. You get emojis that you can post in the chat. Your comments show at the top of the comment section, and generally I am hoping to maybe do a little bit of extra content on the channel as well for members. Now, if you can't afford members or you don't want to be a member, don't worry. All of the usual content will continue as the same. I'm trying to set this up as a little extra, and maybe in the future I can try to do more and more with it, but just for right now, people have been asking, and I thought, you know what, having a little icon with a Newcastle shirt next to your name is quite cool. So I've set it up. If you want to hit that join button, thank you so much. If you want to hit that subscribe button or the like button, thank you so much. Yeah, the support's been amazing, and as we hit off into the new season, I can't wait. So thank you. Let's get into the video. Newcastle played their final two pre-season games, both at St James's Park, Atalanta on Friday night, Athletic Bilbao on the Saturday, and won both. 1-0 against Atalanta, 2-1 against Athletic Bilbao, and the atmosphere was just incredible. Pre-season games. The Friday night felt like a European night. The flags were out, the crowd was jumping. I cannot wait to get back there this Saturday against Nottingham Forest. We saw two different teams play on the Friday and the Saturday. We didn't really use subs either. Eddie Howe pretty much made them play the full 90 minutes. That was almost like the graduation of what has been, I'm sure, a very tough pre-season. We know that Eddie Howe had them doing double sessions for the majority of pre-season. He was making sure the mistakes made by the previous management were not made again, and these guys will be rocking and rolling, ready for Friday. As I say, two different teams. The Friday team, and I have seen people talking about this on Twitter, so if you want to give me an idea of who you think the lineups will be, let me know down below. I do plan to come back later in the week and do a full preview for this game, so be sure to subscribe. Do not miss that video. But just as a little teaser to get things started, my prediction is that the defence who played on Friday night against Atalanta, so Pope, Trippier, Shaw, Burn, Target, and then the midfield and forwards who played on the Saturday will be the next part of the team. So Joey, Willock, Bruno, Maxi, Wilson. I don't think it'll be Richie. I think it will be Almiron. But just generally, that's kind of how I think he did that. He went defensive game Friday, attacking game Saturday. Now, there has been a bit of controversy on Twitter because where's Sven Botman? Where's Sven Botman going to play? I wouldn't be surprised if he did play this Saturday, but I just feel like Eddie Howe's kind of going with the back four that he's known longer. It's going to be a big occasion. Everyone's going to be buzzing. It's a game we really hope to win. But who's to say that I'm right? Let me know if you think Botman could replace Burn or Shaw from what we've seen in the pre-season. I don't imagine it'll be the Saturday defence with Dummett, Lascelles and Kraft and Botman. So naturally I've guessed it's the other one. But let me know your thoughts on that down below. And if you thought the atmosphere in those pre-season friendlies was good, I cannot wait to see what it's going to be like this Saturday. Again, we play our first game, St James's Park. It's always great to play a home game to start the season. War Flags will be back, and Nottingham Forest, promoted side, won the playoffs to make their way up into the Premier League, one of the biggest paydays in football, and they've gone out and spent that money, haven't they? They've gone out and spent 85 plus million this summer, have pretty much brought in a whole new team. Let's be honest, the big name, or the name that everyone's looking at, is Jesse Lingard. There was a lot of questions over where he would go this summer, was obviously linked with Newcastle as well. I think there will be a lot of eyes on Jesse Lingard, not just Nottingham Forest fans, not just because we're at the match and we'll see him there. I think the Premier League will be watching Jesse Lingard. We saw how good he was when he went to West Ham, then he went quiet, then he didn't play again. Can he replicate what he did with West Ham at Nottingham Forest? I've no idea. If you want to let me know your predictions down below, please do for the game this weekend. I think it will be a tough game. I know a lot of people have said that it's a promoted side, we should beat them, and I don't disagree. I think that if we can play like we did against Atalanta, Champions League side, Athletic Bilbao, Spanish Cup winning 2 years ago, we're in the final last year, we're playing a promoted side, we should have the quality and the means to win that game. I just think at the start of every Premier League season, no matter who you play, there's upsets because people are coming back, there's new players, people are integrating, and they are going to be buzzing. They are coming up to the Prem, and promoted teams always start with that couple of games buzz, and then it normally dies off a little bit into the season. We saw how well Brentford started last season, beating Arsenal opening day. Like, no one predicted that either, so I think we have it in us to win. My prediction is that we will win, and I will let you know that in my full preview later in the week. But we just need to keep a cool head, and I think go in there and get the job done. A player that I expect to start and have high hopes for this season, if I had to give a player that I'm hoping is going to come out and surprise everyone this season, let me know if you've got a player down below. I am looking very much forward to seeing Trippier play a full season to start things off. That's not who I was going to say, but I cannot wait to see Trippier in action for a full season. We saw, obviously, glimpses of what he could do. He added so much off the pitch as well, but we saw glimpses of what he could do going forward, getting the ball in, the free kicks he scored. I cannot wait to just see him and his composure on the ball. We saw obviously a little bit of it throughout pre-season, and I cannot wait to see him get involved. But the player I was going to say, and the player that I'm hoping will really cause a stir this season, is Miggy. Miggy's actually come out in the last couple of days and given a little interview, and he's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things in pre-season. We are going to talk about transfers very shortly, and it is clear that Newcastle are very keen to bring in a new player ahead of the start of the season. Can we do it in the next 3 days? I don't know. I won't say no. I think it will be very tough, but if Miggy can play the way he has done in pre-season, it'll be like having a new player. Like, honestly, for me, I'm a person who doubted Miggy. How dare I? And maybe I shouldn't change my mind just yet, because we need to see him do it in a very tough league. But he has come out and done a little interview. He said, more than anything, really, I feel a lot more confident. The manager has shown more faith in me too. Obviously, I still need to keep working hard on my goals and providing more assists. But I'm always working hard in every training session. Now, Miggy has basically just said exactly what I had been saying I'd hope to see from him for like the last season or even two. You know, we know what Eddie Howe can do with players. We know he can. We've seen it with Joe Linton, with Shaw, with a number of players on the side. And are we now seeing it with Miggy? Has the pre-season and the full pre-season with Eddie Howe for him to talk to him one-to-one. Let's get his confidence up. Let's really try and get him in the positions he needs to be in. I mean, he said it there himself. He needs to concentrate on scoring goals and getting assists. And that was my reservation with Miggy. Wasn't that he wasn't a good player or that he could work hard and defend. It was exactly those things. It was, we need to add more of that to the game, and that's why we're in the market for players right now. But if Miggy can continue doing what he's doing, I'm hoping he will be the... I don't know if he is the underdog because he's done so well in pre-season. He's kind of, if he'd come out and done what he's done in the Prem, he would have been. If anything, now he's almost got a little bit of expectation on his shoulders, which I'm hoping he can carry, and we can see him have a great game this weekend and throughout the whole of the season. Now then, let's talk about transfers. As we know, Eddie Howe wanted to try and bring in as many players as quickly as possible this summer window. He wanted to give any player we brought in as much time in pre-season with the squad as possible, and that was why we saw conversations start up so early with players like Sven Botman. We're able to bring him in a very reasonable amount of time. That's had a very decent sized chunk of the pre-season. Same with Pope. Came in, pretty much overnight from when we'd been rumoured with him. Target obviously came in pretty much straight away. We knew we wanted to sign him off the back of last season. And since then, things had kind of simmered down a little bit. We know that Dan Ashworth has been working very hard to try and bring in new players, to the point where he was quite literally travelling around and making phone calls to various different clubs to try and see who was available. That's why we have had so many links, and it's again been no secret that, well, first of all, we want new attacking players. This is the problem. Everybody knows it. All of the other clubs know that we want new players. They also know we're now Newcastle United, owned by billionaire owners, and always want to try and add on that little fee. And that has pretty much been the trouble we've had throughout the majority of this summer window, is when we've gone in for players, what we believe a player is worth is seemingly valued a lot higher by the clubs we are trying to make contact with. To add to that, we have the FFP dilemma. We're trying to be careful now so that we can still spend later in the January window if we need to, or next summer if we need to. And it's not to say that that won't change, because we know that, for example, the current squad are obviously sponsored by Fun88, and that sponsorship is due to end at the end of this year. And who's to say we don't get a new sponsor who gives us more money that we can then go and spend in further windows? But that isn't guaranteed, and I just think the new owners are being careful. We are not only trying to go in with prices we believe are correct, we don't want to overpay, we're actually looking at trying to offer partial payments as well, where we pay so much up front and then slowly add on extra fees per month, per 3 months, or even bonus wise. Try and do it that way. If they play so many games, we'll play you later. And it's not a bad way to do it. It's just not the easiest way to go and buy a player. James Maddison, the player we are heavily linked with right now, rumours are that we went in with a bid around 35-40 million. It's now said that we put in a second bid for James Maddison. Some sources saying 40 million, some sources saying 50 million, and from what we can tell, Leicester are hoping for closer to 60 million. Newcastle don't want to overpay. I think Newcastle believe he's worth 40 to 45 million, don't want to go higher, and if we are going higher, that's based on bonuses and partial payments. It's even rumoured that the 40 million we're offering may well not be a 40 million lump sum, and again, we're trying to do it in a sensible manner. It's clear that after Eddie Howe and Dan Ashworth have spent the last month trying to be careful, trying to be sensible, we're now going out and putting big money fees down on the table for players because the season is very close to starting. I don't think we've hit panic mode. I still think we have other players lined up in the back. For example, Cornet, the Burnley winger who got 9 goals last season. It's understood he has a release clause of around £17.5 million. Newcastle would ideally like to get him for less than what his release clause is, which is the right way to do it. If you can get him for less, great. The question is, how long do you follow up on these ones before you finally go, right, just pay the release clause? Because we do still have till the end of the month. I know the games are getting started, and I do think that's why all of a sudden the links to Maddison, Werner, Harrison have all suddenly heated up. I do believe, and it's reported that Dan Ashworth was quite literally at Leicester Training Centre talking to them about not only Maddison, but Barnes as well. And it's even understood that Newcastle could well look to put Dubravka in as part of the deal. Now, that's what's been rumoured. Dubravka himself has done an interview in the last couple of days where he actually came out and said nothing has really changed. Competition is good for everyone. I've said that many times everywhere I've been before. I have had to fight for my position. I did everything I could in pre-season. In my eyes, it's now up to the manager, so we will see. So what Dubravka's said there sounds very much like he's not on his way out, but Leicester have let Schmeichel go. I think they are in the market for a goalkeeper, and as Newcastle try their best to get the deal over the line for Maddison, could we potentially see Dubravka go the other way? Let me know your thoughts on that. The whole point of bringing bringing Pope in was to create that competition. We've kind of gone the other way if we let Dubravka go. But if that's what it takes to bring Maddison in, would you go for that? And as I say, I do believe that Newcastle are seriously hotting up on the transfers now because of the fact that the Premier League's about to start. I honestly believe that we went in with these bids for Maddison in the hope that we could have had him for Saturday. It almost reminds me of the one when we got Chris Wood in, because we were desperate for a striker before we played that next game in January. It does feel a little bit like we've gone, you know what it is, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it. It just so happens that Leicester are really holding on tight and want a big money deal for him. So let me know your thoughts on James Maddison down below. Let me know your thoughts on some of the players I've mentioned there. What's your thought on Kone? Do you think he's a player we've left on the back burner? Do you think he's a player that we are actually interested in? Do you think we're holding out for Harrison first? You know, there's so much going on, but I love it. Imagine, you know, being a Newcastle fan this time last season where we'd all given up and we're just praying that we managed to survive the season. We are sitting here with a few days to go, putting in £50 million bids for James Maddison. You know, this time last year we couldn't afford the 500 grand to get Hamza Chowdhury on loan, and now we're putting in £50 million bids. So I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. Let me know your thoughts on all the transfers down below. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. If you are interested in the membership, please go ahead and take a look. I actually did a separate little video. You had to do that as part of setting up the membership. So if you want to learn a little bit more, there is a 2-3 minute video you can watch as well. Alright guys, thanks for watching as always. Stay tuned, new Newcastle videos every day this week, and we will be at the game this weekend, and hopefully we can see our first 3 points. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.